Startup Stories, following up with SiGMA and AIBC Startup Pitch winners.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you. I'm Olga Yaroshevsky. I'm the Managing Director for AIBC. For those who don't know me, now I will give you a round of introductions. Please, 30, 40 seconds. Tell us about yourself, your company, and what you've been doing, and in which industry have you been operating.
Thanks, Olga. So, Steve Evans, now Stars Games. We were Racing Stars when we won the pitch back in 2021. We realized relatively quickly that the name Racing Stars lends itself to pretty much to one sport. So went to Stars Games, and it's evolved ever since into a huge free-to-play market.
And when was the pitch that you won, and where?
Malta 2021.
Okay, thank you. Adel?
My name is Adel Gaisin. I'm CPO of Watchers. We are developing social tools for engaging players on the betting and casino platforms.
And when was the pitch that you won, and where?
I won São Paulo startup pitching in 2024, this year.
This year, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Hello, everyone. Hello, dear panelists. My name is David Sichinava. I am founder and CEO of Lambda Gaming, which is a game provider. We won SiGMA pitch last year with our new concept of 8-bit gaming, where we try to merge traditional games, traditional computer games, which my generation of millennials and Gen Z grew up with, to bridge the gap between this kind of games and iGaming. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, thank you. So tell us, it's been some time, at least half a year for some of you. What has changed, and in which ways participating and winning the Startup Pitch competition has benefited your company, and what has changed ever since? Steve, you want to start?
Sure. So when we won, we were a licensed pool betting company out of the UK. And it quickly became apparent that without a huge amount of capital to be able to have massive liquidity within the pools, to be able to onboard customers at a relatively cheap level, that it wasn't going to be scalable to the growth that we were looking for. So we realized that we had a game itself that people thoroughly enjoyed. They liked the game style. It was a crossover between your traditional tote style pool betting and fantasy. So by taking that and the retention levels that we had, we went down the free-to-play route. We relinquished our license. We relinquished our license a couple of years back, and we dropped our acquisition costs from between 60 and 80 pounds to between 2 and 3 pounds. So it shows the free-to-play route was a much easier way, and we can then funnel that traffic through to various affiliates and partners.
Great. Well, Adel, how about you? I know it's been just, 6 months?
Yeah, just 6 months, but anyway, we actually won, and the last one too. It was my colleague, so she won the...
so that would be your second pitch. Oh, nice.
Same year, you know. So just after my pitching, we were open for us this Latin American market. We found new clients there, and so it is really interesting market because the players on this market are very interactive. So they are super engaging with the chat. So I think that we will grow the next year in this market also. So yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, and the opportunity which the SiGMA gives us, it's an incredible place.
So you deliberately chose to participate in the SiGMA pitch for LATAM, right? So because you're targeting that market.
Yeah, this was like entrance for us.
Okay, interesting. Yes. Okay, David.
So we started developing this concept of 8-bit games And we internally really loved it, loved developing it, loved the products, but we didn't know how to get the word out. In the space which we are operating in providers, the competition is like mad. There are maybe more than 10,000 games, more than 150 operators, so even if you make something that stands out, to get out the word is very difficult. And we were looking for the ways how to do that, how to reach key players in the industry. Actually, we accidentally stumbled upon the SiGMA pitch contest. We did not expect to win it.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I was maybe most surprised when they announced that we had won. And since then, this has become a lot easier for us to get outward, to reach customers and make new partnerships. And then people started reaching out to us. Next year, we won the best game release. This year, actually, in May, we won best game release, and we did not even approach them. They approached us. Do you want to, nominate your games? And in this regard, this journey has been really great for us to get the word out and attract the attention of the industry.
It's interesting that you mentioned that the competition is actually quite high. So what, in your opinion, is the best way to stand out in your relevant industry, like with your particular product? And how does, I understand it's about the fundraising, it's about the attention, also about the user acquisition, right? But when it comes to, let's say, giving yourself a visibility as a startup, right, as a young company, what is the best way to stand out, in your opinion? What was your strategy back then?
Well, like I said, we did not have particular strategy. We just were making product. But it helps a lot in our case that what we have is really unique. So in the space we are operating, most of our competition has slot games. And the first slot game was created in like 1896. It's 2 centuries ago almost. And it was a physical slot where you had these reels spinning because there was no digital at that time, right? And then when the market transitioned to digital, everybody just digitized the land-based experience. And now we have slots that repeat digital experience. And it has value, and a lot of players love it. But we think that there is an opportunity to do something new, something that leverages the capabilities of modern technology. And that helps us to stand out, because when we, for example, demonstrate on gatherings like SiGMA or games, it always catches people's eyes. Also, of course, it's always helpful to participate in, for example, I am here now because also I want to get the word out for what we are making. So we always try to communicate with as much people as possible, and let's see what happens.
Thank you. What about you, Adel? Steve?
Yeah, for us the situation is very different because we are not providing games, which is very common for this industry. We're providing social tools, and that means that this stage was like, for us, this showcase for you can do it too. You can put into your platform something like a chat, which gives an opportunity to engage your users and then make your platform sticky.
Like enhance user experience more.
Yeah. And then after my pitch, for example, we had a lot of conversations with casinos, and they gave us something like a push to create new social widgets for the chat. So right now we're providing kind of win sharing, so the users can share their experience in the chats. And I have to admit that it's kind of super cool that this incredible stage gives this kind of information for startups, especially. We're a startup. We want to grow, and we can grow only with these people. Yeah.
One of the biggest things for us was we'd spent all of our time putting the effort into the tech. We hadn't really thought about how we were going to launch it to market, where we were going to go with it. We didn't have a very clear, structured plan. And we were convinced to enter the SiGMA pitch back in 21 with no thought we'd ever have a chance of winning it. But that launch pad, when we won it that day, seemed to give us the validation that the judging panel, which was consisted of some very, very strong names within the industry, believed in what we were doing. And not only believed in the product that we were coming up with, but the team that could put it together. So when we were then taking our products out to potential partners, we said we had the backing of SiGMA, and we explained the people that were on this panel and that we were still having these discussions with. And it opens doors to you that you potentially would never have had beforehand. And the acceleration that gave us was incredible.
Thank you. Now, as entrepreneurs, what do you think is the biggest challenge now to interact with investors, with the investors community? I know it can be ups and downs. You can be pitching to different people a million times, right? You get funds, you don't get funds. There are ups and downs. It's an ongoing adventure, right? So what do you think is, I would say maybe, well, okay, let's start on a positive note, the best experience you've had so far, and then not maybe the worst experience, but what is the problem and the challenge that you see within the investment community in regards to, approaching startups, working with them?
I think the hardest thing for a startup, especially very early on, is trying to put a valuation on yourself that you think you can get people to buy in for and you can justify. Now, at the time, we had a load of tech we thought was great. We hadn't done enough market research to put a true valuation on it. So working with the likes of SiGMA, that rather than saying you have to have X as your valuation before we'll buy equity, they were willing to work on a convertible loan note, which meant you didn't have to have that defined value right off the bat. And I think something like that is one of the hardest challenges for early stage companies to know your true worth. So if you can get people excited by your product, if you can go down that convertible loan note route, it means you haven't got to put a defined number early on. You're selling people the dream and when it converts, what it's going to be worth then.
Thank you, Adel.
Yeah, so I think that the biggest challenge right now is to find the product market fit. Because, okay, you have like super user experience, you have like super design, etc. But if you don't have a user, you will not find the money because no one wanna gives you
for an idea.
Or an idea, yeah. Because right now everything connected with the number of users, the time inside of your product, and the money. Yeah. So for us, we're lucky. We didn't have this situation because we had we built our product, we found a contract, and then we can show the investors that our product works. So we're lucky, but not every startup lives this. Yeah.
Regarding the investment, now let's face it, we are in an industry where money, most part of the time, is not a problem. So a lot of people in this industry have a lot of money. But in our case, what we are looking for and what's been what we have been most focused on is what a partner can bring beside investment. Because how we approach this business, it's a very multifaceted thing. You need a lot of different parts to build a truly functioning business. So this is the main challenge, how to find not just money, but money that will also bring some kind of a synergy with the partner. That's our main philosophy when communicating with investors, and also I must agree about the putting price also is very hard because in this industry success happens very rapidly. So for investors it's very challenging to catch a moment before explosion, and after explosion it's too late, because if a startup explodes in this industry they don't need any kind of investor in like maybe even 6 months. So that is very hard to negotiate it, like we believe that we are on the verge of explosion, and they are saying, like, show me cash. And that mentality is a little bit of a challenge to overcome. But still, I think this is investment-wise situation in this industry is better than most.
Sorry, can I just jump in on that? I think you made a very good point about finding the right investors sometimes. So something that I found with Ikigai was they don't just say, there's the cash, go and do your thing now and we'll see how you get on in a couple of years. I had some great support from the team there. So we've got an account manager that we work actively with to put some marketing campaigns together. We can have a booth at the stands. I'm sure all you guys know Vinny. Vinny's been invaluable to us. He's on the end of the phone. If we've ever got something that we're not quite sure of, he'll always pick up and answer and help. And for a startup, that's incredible because we've all made mistakes. But if you can speak to someone that's been there, done it, and been around the industry long enough, you can eliminate some of the silly mistakes that you might have made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Have you noticed and seen any difference between approach that you just described, maybe from different countries, from the size of the funds, you know, family offices, or big institutional players that are also looking for early stage companies, whoever you interacted with? Is there a difference?
Yes. So we spoke quite early on to some American companies, a couple of VCs. And again, this is before we'd won the pitch and before we got to some sort of clear valuation in our head. And they made it quite plain that their average ticket is around the 5 million mark. It's normally between 2.5 and 10. They won't write a ticket under 2.5. And then you have to take a bit of a step back and think, oh, hang on a minute, how do I justify a valuation where they can put in that much money and we've not given away all of our equity? And you think, well, can I promise them this in a few years? And it makes you doubt yourself a little bit. So the Americans tend to be the larger tickets. Eastern Europeans and people in this area tend to be the sort of level we're looking for. So SiGMA introduced us to some others in this area that were open to dealing with the numbers that we were looking at.
Yeah, I think that one more thing is the different expectations from your business. For example, if you don't have right now the business model which works perfect, a lot of VCs from North America will not even speak with you. So right now, I think this is the most important thing, that we have to think about how we bring the money back. Yeah, and a lot of startups just starting with idea, but it's not correct. It's not the point, and not this time. So 10 years ago, they could start with this, but right now it's impossible.
But it really depends on the industry, most probably, because we just had investors who operate in the verticals of gaming and, let's say, tech or crypto or Web3 projects. Sometimes it's just a mere idea, you know, I'm going to launch my own metaverse casino, here you go.
When it just starts, like right now, AI startups, yeah?
Yes.
Some of them starts just with the idea, but anyway.
So you can just say word AI and everybody, okay, come on in.
Yes, but not all of us doing AI startups. For example, we're using a lot of AI, but we're doing social tools. It's not AI startup. Yeah.
But if you sprinkle it with mentioning of AI, it wouldn't help.
Yeah,
most
for
probably,
sure.
no.
We're doing it, but anyway.
Okay, David.
Yes, we have had communications with a lot of people who approach differently and have different mentalities, and not everybody is a fit for us, or not. We are not fit for everybody, but mostly the best experiences we've had with our venture funds, because venture funds have this mentality where they can understand what exponential scaling means and how to help startup grow, and that kind of interactions have been best for us.
Thank you. Well, we're almost out of time, unfortunately. Last round, quick, nice and easy. Your best advice for a startup that is looking into, let's say, participating in SiGMA or AIBC pitch or any pitch out there and is trying their luck?
It's believe in your product. If you believe in it strong enough and you can get that across to the people that you're talking to, then they will believe it with you.
Do it fast. Simplify. Do it fast and just check your idea if it works.
Well, I think best advice would be approach it with the mindset of a marathon, not a sprint. So it's a long journey.
Thank you, gentlemen. Right on time. Thank you so much. Congratulations again for being the Startup Pitch winners, and I wish you good luck and a wonderful journey ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
A big
Thank
round
you
of
very
applause
much.
for our Startup Pitch winners, everybody. Thank you.